This comes from Gary in Las Vegas, listening to KXNT 840. Art, did you see the story on Channel 8? That's our CBS affiliate in Las Vegas at 6. George Knapp did a story about the strange humming noise in Pahrump. People in Pahrump can't find the source of the hum. Could it be from your radio station? No, it's not on the air yet. Or could it be something going on in Dreamland? Anyway, in case you hadn't seen it, I thought you'd like to know. Well, no, I didn't see it. Yes, I certainly do know about the Pahrump hum. As I've said on this program before, I've got a very good friend who lives across town, works at the test site, and he lives over on the other side of town. I guess I better not say, but the other side of town, and he built a porch. And in doing so, he sunk some 2x4s, or bigger, into the ground, and when he did, he got so much hum that he couldn't sleep at night. This is no joke. He ended up removing that porch because he could not sleep at night. So there you've got it. A little bit of an update on a sort of a weird thing going on out here where I am. Now, I got a fax tonight that you've got to hear. This is incredible. Maybe somebody out there can help out with this. Dear Art, I'm writing to you to see if I can get some help from you or your vast listening audience. I live in rural eastern Washington near the Manastash Ridge. That's M-A-N-A-S-T-A-S-H, Manastash Ridge. On our property, there is a hole. Like the previous owners and the owners before them, we have been throwing our trash into the hole. Apparently, the hole has been there as long as anybody can remember. At first, I thought it was an ancient well. Anyway, the hole is 9 feet, 9 inches in diameter. There is a stone retaining wall around it, and we've put a steel door on top to keep anybody from falling into it. As I said earlier, people have been throwing their trash into the well, that's in quotes, for decades. Furniture, household trash, dead cows, building debris, you name it. The thing is that I noticed that the hole never filled up. So I got curious, actually obsessed. I began trying to measure the depth of the hole. So I emptied 3 fishing reels of about 1,500 yards of monofilament, trying to determine the depth. Soon, I was buying fishing line in bulk. So far, I've sunk about 80,000 feet of line into the hole without reaching bottom. My wife, that's 80,000 feet, folks. My wife works at a local university with a geology department. We hope to get some professional scholarly help in determining the depth of the hole. As far as I can tell, there's nothing else particularly strange about the hole except for 2 other things. One, dogs refuse to get within about 100 feet of it. Birds will not sit on the retaining wall or metal door. Another strange thing is there's no echo when you yell into it. None. Indeed, I've never heard anything hit bottom when tossed in. We once tossed in an old refrigerator and never heard it hit bottom. No crash, no splash, no crunch. I hope your listeners can help with possible explanations. I'm wondering if this, based on my measurements so far, is the deepest hole on Earth. Signed, Mel, and I've got his last name here. Thank you, Art Bell, and listeners. And I thought you would enjoy hearing about that. I sure did. I'm so angry about that I could scream. If I was any better, I would scream. Here's the facts. Lately, it seems I get sick a few days after beginning a trip, or a few days after returning, Art. If I get sick as a result of the outbound portion, the trip is seriously disrupted. In either case, I lose several days' productivity. The prevalence of non-refundable tickets has undoubtedly increased the number of infectious sick people on airliners. Considering how many people get sick from diseases they contract in poorly ventilated airliner cabins, I would suspect many more are killed by poor ventilation than are killed in airline crashes. Right on the money, my friend. Right on the money. You see, in the days when they used to allow smoking on aircraft, remember those days long ago? They had to bring in a lot of outside air in order to take care of the smoke problem. Now, once they stopped the smoking, they began more recirculating, and the germs go round and round. And that's how I got sick. No question about it. You could count back the day I began to get sick from, it was just the right germination period from when I'd been on the airliner coming back from Mexico. Our friends in Chicago are underwater nearly. The weather across the U.S. is utterly, absolutely bizarre. Buffalo, New York, yesterday 70 degrees. Chicago with a couple of inches of rain, boom like that. The South with ugly, violent weather. Something's changing. Former heavyweight boxing champ Riddick Bowe, in and out of the U.S. Marine Corps, measured in days, hours really. And I think the Marine Corps is not necessarily for millionaires who are used to being pampered and having whatever they want. I'm sure he got down to Parris Island and found out you don't get whatever you want when you're in basic training in the Marine Corps, and so he didn't last very long. That was generally predictable, wasn't it? Well, I've got a lot more because it has been adding up. There has been another response from the person who calls himself priest. We're going to get that up on the webpage and keep you informed as it comes along. So, open lines, Friday night, Saturday morning. Anything you cats want to talk about is fair game. I'm trying to be fair now to Major Ed Dames. I have got a definitive result on the Philip Taylor Kramer case, and I'm really trying to get hold of Kathy Kramer. So Kathy, if you're out there, call me. Somehow I lost Kathy's number, and I've got to talk to Kathy before I make public what Ed Dames has reported. At any rate, he will be going on the air with us March 6th, and we'll get it resolved between now and then, hopefully long before. All right, to the lines, west of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Mr. Bell. How are you?
Well, sick.
Oh, this is not Mr. Bell?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. I want to ask you something.
All right.
Your previous guest. I'm a first-time caller.
Yes, sure.
I don't know if you've ever heard this story that has been on all the news last month, and they did a sighting show on it about these children that had, I think it was England, that they had seen this UFO. There was over 28 little kids, elementary, and they went out and interviewed them. I saw it. I've seen it twice on TV.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
And the thing I want to comment and ask you, Mr. Bell, is every one of these children was taken in separately and they told the same story, that the alien beings, when they described them, they all saw them. The alien beings told every child that unless we stopped what we were doing on this planet, we were going to destroy it, and they wanted the message to be given to the children. I don't know who the alien beings expected the children to do anything about it, but many, many researchers and scientists and government people went down and interviewed these kids, and then that's the last you've heard of it.
Right.
But it was on every show. And the other thing you said with your guest that came across, if people will just put their common thinking helmets on and wonder It was over how many years ago when they landed on the moon, Mr. Bell, our astronauts?
A long time ago.
Oh, give me an approximate time.
30 years.
That's what I was going to guess. Okay, and common sense just has made me wonder, like many people, it just totally stopped. They have regressed rather than progressed.
Well, I've always wondered about that myself. Thank you. It just stopped. And that is something to wonder about. And there are a lot of arguments that can be made that suggest that, well, yes, we went several times, and we didn't find anything more than rocks. Now, that is certainly one scenario worthy of serious consideration. Well, we didn't find anything, so naturally we stopped. We could no longer justify the use of that kind of money without getting significant return of some sort for going to the moon or onto Mars or whatever. Or you can imagine, you can imagine there were other reasons that we stopped. I think you can give equal weight to both scenarios. Stephen Greer, Dr. Greer, a very, very articulate guest on this subject, and I think there's going to be this is going to be a very interesting spring, this coming spring, isn't it? West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art, this is Martin in Oceanside, and I was wondering if you've ever talked with Dr. Jack Kasher, who reviewed the STS-48 footage.
Well, I've talked to a lot of people about STS-48. But not that doctor. What does he say?
They've had him on Sightings and a couple other programs, and apparently, from what I can get from the report, it was NASA itself who got him. He was a physics professor at Nevada University, I believe, or University of Nevada, and he tried to prove it to be ice crystals, but there was no way he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And some NASA officials at press conference even said that we are confident that he would prove it to be ice crystals, but he's talked quite a bit about it, and
I've got a report for you that you might find interesting.
What is it?
The following. Hey, Art, I don't know if you've already heard it, but one of the shuttle astronauts said they got a great view of Hale-Bopp this morning. This was prior to landing, and it looked like it had two tails. If you check out this page and then listen to the audio, you'll probably hear it for yourself. I caught a NASA news brief at 9:30 yesterday morning. Maybe they'll have it on every half hour. So apparently, without the atmosphere to look through, the astronauts got a good look at the comet, and it looked like it had two tails, and that was apparently radio traffic that passed between the shuttle and ground. Interesting, eh?
What time can we see it now on the, let's see, I'm at the West Coast, so if I took binoculars out...
About an hour prior to sunrise in the eastern sky.
Okay, good.
And I guess she's about 20 degrees above the horizon now, almost far enough for me to see. I've got a mountain range to the east, and I'm waiting for it to either get high enough or shift to the western horizon. So I've been desperately trying to see Hale-Bopp without any luck yet. I know a lot of you have seen it, though.
And I'm glad you're alive.
Oh, me too. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of rumors going around that I was dead. Still getting calls from affiliates saying, "Is Art alive? We've heard he's dead. You should see the messages going around on the internet." Sorry to disappoint those who would be preparing to have a party. No, I'm not dead. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art. I was calling about that hole that you mentioned.
Yeah,
What
isn't
city
that...
was in?
I beg pardon?
The hole you talked about?
Yes.
What city was that from?
Well, let me see here. I live, he says, in rural eastern Washington near the Manastash Ridge. M-A-N-A-S-T-A-S-H.
And
Ridge.
about how deep is it?
Well, so far he's got 80,000 feet of monofilament hanging down without having hit bottom.
Right. I don't know if you recall me during your predictions, but I did an off-the-cuff prediction that said, off the record, I mean, because I gave you one, and then I said there's going to be a hole discovered.
Well, I think I've ripped my lip apart. God. I've got a caller sitting on hold. Let's, caller, are you there?
I sure am.
Go ahead. Now, you've got a tape, right?
Right.
You predicted that a hole would be found in the earth.
Yes. So what you're going to hear on tape is dovetailing from my first prediction from the year before.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I made another prediction, but that's not on here. Then I said, off the record, I wanted to give you that other one about the hole.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
From last year was a swarm of air troubles. Yeah. Oh. Ding, 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 ding. You're absolutely right, sir. You certainly hit that one on the head. Well, it was a toss-up, so that one I think you could record, but my other thing was I also see like a hole in the earth somewhere, like an undiscovered cave or something like that. Really? It's just off the record. A portal, possibly, to the world below. But hey,
wow.
By the way, did you hear about the Indonesia?
There you go.
Wow. Ding, 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 ding. Oh,
I recorded
very
that one.
good. Very good, sir.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. Well, all right. There it is.
Oh, yeah, since we didn't record that officially, I wanted to...
I have got to interview this guy. What do you think about this? I mean, this does sound pretty weird, huh?
Well, sure.
I think I ripped part of my lip off. Oh, man. All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Good talking to you.
Right. Take care. I did. In my panic, I ripped part of my lip off. That's really pathetic. Dear Art, concerning the facts you received regarding the bottomless hole, if this is a true story, then Mel is an idiot. That's not fair. I can't imagine thinking it was appropriate to throw things like a refrigerator down holes that they thought led to their groundwater supply. If the hole really is 80,000 feet deep, then I would imagine there is a university nearby that would love to study it. True? Troy and Sacramento. God, a piece of my lip is gone. I've got this all over my hands now. This really, really sucks. This is the worst super glue incident that I've ever had, and I've had many in my lifetime. See, I was in a hurry because we're in the break. Unbelievable. Now I'll get to sit here and pick this off for the rest of the program. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art. Let me kill the radio here real quick.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry about your lip incident there.
Well, you know what happened? It flowed all over my fingers, and I thought that was, it almost dries instantly, but it wasn't dry, and so I put it up to start to pick it off, the way you do?
Uh-huh.
And instead, it flowed right over my lip. And then I closed my lip, and the rest you can imagine.
Neat trick for a talk show host.
Yeah, really.
This is Smoker Dave in Mesa.
Yeah.
And hello to everybody at work. I'm kind of amazed that you can't see hail pop above the mountain range yet.
Well, yeah, but I've got a 5,500-foot mountain between Pahrump and Las Vegas directly east of me.
Because I've been even able to point it out to my boss at work from where I work at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. We can see it, even in city lights here.
Well, I envy you.
And I'm going out in about a couple hours here with my 4.5-inch Meade telescope. Have you been getting better with that?
Well, not yet.
Have you found Polaris with it yet?
I found the moon. Give me a break. That's all I found is the moon.
So the first time I took it out, I got Polaris, and then I got Mars, and tonight will be the second time I'm taking it out. And I'm going to go out and try to get hail bop on it here in a couple hours.
Well, if it doesn't get high enough, as I say, I've got this big mountain range, and what do you estimate hail bop to be above the horizon now, about 20 degrees at best?
Yeah, it's about 20 degrees, and actually you can still see it. I mean, here with the city lights, we can only see the very brightest stars. And you just look for a bright star that looks fuzzy.
All right. Yes, I've got you. Thank you very much. And then I would assume once you get a telescope on it that you can see a very definitive tail. I'm jealous. As I say, I've got this large mountain range that rises directly to the east of me. And eventually, of course, it's going to move to the west, and then I'll have it made. But I'm jealous. Jealous. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, this is Mike from Dubuque.
Hello, Mike.
Last time I called you was a week ago today when you were talking to JC.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun, wasn't it?
Very different, yes. Typical of what we do on this show, different.
I wanted to ask you if you could do me a favor.
What do you have in mind?
I caught part of a show quite a while ago that you did on Bigfoot, and you had a Bigfoot yell.
Oh, yeah, I've got it.
Can you play that for me?
Well, it's pretty scary stuff.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I have a friend that goes to school in the University of Wisconsin in Madison.
Yeah.
And he is, I'm not exactly sure what he does, but his specialty, he's doing his master's thesis in animal, I guess you call it languages.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out exactly how much animals have the ability to communicate.
All right. Here is the first one. This is only so-so. It's good, but not great. That sounds to me more like the victim of a proctologist, you know?
Yeah, that wasn't the one that I heard.
That's right. The other one that I have is a very, very serious Yeti yell, and I have had experts on the air.
Okay.
Experts on the Yeti who have heard this and say, yes, oh yes, that is genuine.
Okay.
You know, a number of people have studied. So here comes the genuine Yeti yell, and nobody would ever want to hear this in the dead, dark night in the middle of a forest. Here it is. Well, there it is. What does that say to you?
Well, I was wondering, I'm recording this right now.
Well, what does that say to you? When you hear that, what does that say to you?
Don't come any closer and go as far away as possible.
At least that, huh?
But he was, hopefully when this tape comes out, it'll be good enough. But you know, recording off the radio doesn't give you a very good copy.
That's true.
Even on the
if you have a computer, I think they've got a sound clip of that up on the website.
Okay. All right. That would probably be all I need, because it can be. He needed to be digital, so he can break it down.
I see.
So he can, do whatever they do to animal cries.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to your report. Get back to us.
I will.
All right. Take care, my friend. Actually, a little piece of my lip in the ashtray here. God, it hurts. I've got this stuff all over me now. Stinking super glue. You know, it doesn't have to be like water. I've had this other super glue. It's a little bit better. It's super glue gel or something, but it's still bad. And it still grows on you. But this stuff, this is like water. I mean, this just flowed over me like turning on a spigot. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I feel so bad about your poor lip.
Oh, man. What a way to go, you know.
I think I have a solution for you. Baby oil.
Baby oil?
Yeah. Yeah. If you put it on the super glue that's dried, it should help to take it off.
Well, it's a little late for my lip.
I'm sorry about
In other words, there's actually a portion of my lip. Actually, I can see it here in my ashtray.
That's really gross.
It is gross, isn't it?
Anyway,
it was an emergency. I mean, you're on a break. You come back, and you're sitting here mumbling because part of your lip is glued together.
I know.
Got two choices.
Mercury must be retrograde or something.
No.
Anyway, good luck to you.
It's a full moon, too, isn't it?
Glad you're feeling better.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
See you later. Wild card line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art. This is Cynthia from San Diego.
Hello, Cynthia.
I have been trying to get a hold of you for so long.
Well, here you are.
Yes, I am. I have a few things I've been wanting to tell you about.
Okay.
First thing is, I got to visit CBC a few weeks ago.
You did?
Yes, I was up in Medford, Oregon. with my family on some family business.
I've heard they've got a sign out there. See,
Yep, I took a picture and everything.
You did? Well, I've never been up there. Can you imagine that?
I have relatives that live up there.
Says something about Home of the Art Bell program
yes,
show or
it's a big,
something?
huge sign, and it's on the middle of a street. It's in not a very big place.
Right.
And there it is, you know, and it's in there. They have the offices in 3 little homes, like craftsman-style houses.
Right.
And they have 5 cats on the premises.
Yeah, that's right. They're cat people up there.
Yes.
And they've been slowly buying out the block, you know, as they expand.
Yes.
I think they'll own the whole block soon.
Yes. The other thing is, did you receive a package in the mail from, with a CD in it today, maybe yesterday, from a band called Save the Machine?
No, but we're going to go back up to the post office in the morning, so I imagine it's waiting up there.
Yes. Well, Ed and I, we sent it to you on behalf of a friend of ours.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's basically, we call it the soundtrack to the end of the world.
Soundtrack to the end of the world?
Yes, it's kind of like music for the quickening.
Wow.
Yes. We hope you'll find it very interesting.
All right. All right. Maybe I'll play some. You never know.
Yes.
I'll look for it tomorrow.
It's very well done.
Thank you, dear.
Can I say one more thing?
One more thing.
Okay, we saw Mars Attacks not too long ago. And did anybody ever tell you that you're parodied in it?
No.
You are.
Where?
I'm serious.
Where?
There's a character in there. He's kind of a wheelin' dealin' biggest guy. And I was, he's played by Jack Nicholson, who also plays the president in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him, and he has your mustache. And then I was like paying attention to it a lot more as the movie went on. And later on, they had him wearing this shirt that was pretty wild, and it had like UFOs and planets and stuff all over it.
Yep.
And then at the very, very end, I was looking at the credits, and I noticed that they kept calling him Art throughout the entire movie. That he was, until he, and then at the very end, the credits said his name was Art Land.
Really?
So Vegas is Artland. Isn't that great?
Humorous, yes, I've heard a very great deal about that movie. New York City, WABC. I've got those jingles, you know. That was sort of a lifelong dream of mine, to get WABC's old jingle package. And I grew up with that. I grew up with that. Cousin Brucey, WABC, boy, I grew up with that. And no matter where I moved around the northeast part of the country, WABC was always there, because they've got a signal that's everywhere in the north. Hey, Art, if, like the man in eastern Washington, I had a deep hole in my backyard, I'm afraid curiosity would get the better of me, and here's what I'd do. After building a platform to work from, I'd mount a good telescope, like the one you have. Thank you. Then with a good quality mirror, I would reflect sunlight down the hole to see exactly what was there using the telescope. Well, that's not a bad idea, but I mean, he's got 80,000 feet of monofilament down there so far. And I'm not sure reflected light would do the job. Maybe a laser. I don't know. Hey, Art, do you think JC was behind this lip job? No, it was me. It's my own stupidity. It wasn't JC. That's Nathan in Bristol, Tennessee. I'm sure he might have wished it on me. Well, I'm going to be picking this off for the rest of the weekend. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, let me turn that off.
Yep, turn that off.
Art,
Yes.
Four things first. When you played that Yeti out,
Yes.
my 3 cats just went nuts.
Oh, I know. They don't like it.
Number 2, JC, keep up the good work. These guys, I think they're so comical. I receive so much entertainment from them. I grew up with Jim and Tammy Baker.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, it's just hilarious.
I used to watch Jim and Tammy.
Makes 2 of us.
Really?
Well, for that matter, my family, too. It was just comical.
Yeah, it was.
But then again, I'm also a Calvinist.
Tammy was a lot of fun, too. What's a Calvinist?
John Calvin?
Yeah.
in the Great Reformation, back with Martin Luther.
Oh, yes.
I was reared in that type of church.
Uh-huh.
Number 3, with your guest. I too have seen things up in the sky that I have no knowledge of what they are, but yeah, somewhat mysterious. What bothers me is he would not name those people that are willing to go public.
Well, he is willing to do that at the appropriate time. Now,
But
but to do that ahead of time would put them in danger. And
You think so? Why?
Yeah, because he wants them all to come out at once. He's going to do that this spring. Weren't you listening?
Oh, yeah, I was listening, and that's what bothers me. I mean, there's so many outlets. I guess it's the onslaught that I find troublesome. So many people at one time.
Well, I think, though, he's right. Thank you for the call. Safety in numbers. I think Dr. Greer is exactly right. Safety in numbers. I would not expect him to name people willy-nilly tonight in the interview. I think that would be very irresponsible. If you listen carefully to what his objective was, it is to get a lot of people of great character who are vetted, who can go before congressional sources under sworn conditions and give testimony and break this whole thing open. No, I think he's on exactly the right track. Exactly the right track. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning.
Wait, let me turn my radio.
Yeah, oh yeah, turn it off and get good and close to the phone and yell at us because you're not too loud.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I'm sorry about your lip.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about that Sealed with a Kiss record?
Sealed with a Kiss.
Is that...
Nobody would kiss me right now. Lips do grow back, right?
Excuse me?
I said lips grow back, right?
Yes, sir. Hopefully. Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I really enjoy your program. I just got the Beijing radio.
Oh, you got the Beijing?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Tell everybody, is it or is it not absolutely amazing?
It is great. I'll tell you. I've got a couple of other shortwave radios in that price range.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't hold a candle to this, Art.
I know. It is the most amazing radio.
And I also have, well, of course, the crank, it takes I get about 30 minutes. And also I have the solar power pack.
They do sell it. You don't need it, but it's kind of neat. I mean, you can, have you tried it yet? You can put that solar pack under a light bulb.
Yeah, right now I'm charging it up. About an hour from now, I'm still going to listen to your show. And I'll email you as to how it is.
Yeah, but what I was telling everybody is you can actually run that radio directly off no more light than comes from like a 100-watt bulb.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. All right, sir, I appreciate the call. Thank you. If you want to get one of the Beijing radios before they're gone, it's 1-800-522-8863. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Oh, Art?
Yes.
When you had Whitney Screeber on, he said that the asteroid crossed the Earth's path about 270,000 miles.
That's right.
Well, in Strange Universe, they had they showed a guy in California took a picture of a asteroid going through the atmosphere, and it was only about 80 miles high.
That's right. It's also on dark skies.
Yeah.
So yes, we've had, that's called a bullet graze.
Yeah, that just glanced off the atmosphere.
That's right.
Yeah, in Isaiah 24:20, it talks about the Earth wobbling when one of these things hit. That the Earth will wobble like a drunkard.
What would happen if the Earth actually began to wobble?
I don't know, but
whatever, it wouldn't be good.
That's right.
I'm sure of that. I wonder if we'd all sort of start to jerk around.
I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Well, it wouldn't be good. All right, sir. Thank you very much for the call. Latest on the website. A link to Dr. Greer's CSETI project up there right now. The second anonymous priest letter on the Hale-Bopp page. That's up on the front, too. I just received it. You read it, see what you think. Then I see Keith has put up there, rumors of Art's demise are greatly exaggerated. You know, I should read that to you. Some really mean-spirited person put up my death notice. I am. I'll get that and read it to you. I don't know who the hell did that, but do any of you out there happen to have it? I've got a copy in the other room somewhere, and I'll find it and read it to you. But, you know, it was like a press release, and they put it up on the internet. I bet one of you out there has it. If somebody has it, call me, and I'll let you read it. Otherwise, I'll try and find my copy. And so everybody's been calling me and saying, are you dead? And sending me email. That's another one. They've been sending me email. Are you dead? You know how I've been responding? Yes. I died on the 20th. It was very sad. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
Turn off thy radio.
Okay. Okay.
Click. There you go. Where are you?
Los Angeles?
That's a good place to be. What's on your mind?
Well, Art.
Yes.
Couple of things.
Yeah.
One, I wondered, with Stephen Greer, what makes him think that anybody will listen when they treated Richard Hoagland the way they did when he had his press conference? The press wouldn't show up and stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's not a reason not to try, though, and he's going to gather together some very heavy-duty people, government and private sector, and they're going to tell what they know.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's worth a try.
Yeah, it is. The other thing is I faxed you about Ed Dames.
Yes.
Appearing the other day at MUFON.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to that, and he was very evasive in answering questions about ETs and stuff, which I thought was interesting. And he said there was no such branch as MJ-12.
Well, Dr. Greer said, yes, there is, but it's not called MJ-12. And as he points out, what's in a name? MJ-12, magic, whatever it is the idea of what it is, not what it's called. Who cares what it's called? If there is a group that possesses this information, in effect, a government within a government, I'm not saying there is, this is what Dr. Greer said, then its name is not particularly important. Its existence certainly is. Speaking of Ed Dames, you should see what I've got here from the Electronic Telegraph. Headline, Japan milk fears as Australian anthrax spreads. Australia's worst anthrax outbreak for a century spread to sheep yesterday as authorities tried to reassure milk and beef customers in Asia that they were not in the middle of a, in quotes, mad cow type of crisis. The Deputy Prime Minister told Asian trading partners there was no threat to human health as a large vaccination program was stepped up to cover 32,000 cattle and sheep in Victoria. So far, more than 130 cattle and at least one sheep have died since the outbreak was reported January 26th. Wow. Milk. Remember what Ed Dames had to say about milk? West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Good morning, Art. This is Ed in San Diego.
Hello, Ed.
Your infamous board op at KFMB.
Yes, sir.
You know, they nickname me Bellboy now.
Really?
Yes. So my boss calls me.
Calls you Bellboy?
Uh-huh. Because I'm like your biggest fan down here as far as like station personnel.
Well, then that's an honor.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That's all right.
Anything? I was just hoping that I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh my God! You know what I just noticed?
What?
I've got glue all over my nose too.
Oh, Art, quick! I was talking to your board op at CBC. Acetone, stuff like nail polish remover, is really good for debasing that stuff.
Oh man, it's all over my nose. I didn't even notice that before I was so worried about my lip. Oh, I really wiped myself out. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I hope you can. That's what I was calling to let you know about some acetone-based stuff like nail polish remover.
Yeah, right.
That stuff is good for getting off that kind of glue base.
Well, if there's any glue left on my lip, I'm sure as hell not going to splash acetone on it. So,
I was more concerned. You said it was. I didn't know if it was still on your hand or not.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's all over.
Yeah. What a mess.
Oh.
Well, I hope your cats were keeping you company when you were sick. I know they're good.
You know what? They know when you're sick.
They certainly do.
And they come to you and they try and comfort you in their own little cat way.
They certainly do.
Yep.
They can be wonderful, wonderful companions when you're ill.
Cats are very sensitive that way.
And I hope you'll get your cat page coming up soon on the web, because I'd love to send you some of our family, of our 14.
We'll probably do that. We'll probably put up a cat page. I think we will. That's a great idea. Thanks for reminding me.
Best to you, sir.
Take care. Bellboy, huh? Oh, man, I've got this all up and down one side of my nose. My nose is already sore, you know, because I've been blowing it so often. When you're down, whoever it is who gets you down loves to kick you, huh? East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
How you doing? My name is Lou from Arkansas.
Well, hi, Lou.
I'd like to tell you about a little dream that I had a couple years ago. It was I believe it's a prophetic dream. It might happen later on down the road, but I was in this like a restaurant, and I thought I was having the meal of my life. I could just everybody was waiting on me hand and foot. They'd do anything they wanted.
It's like you were a king.
Yeah, you just say whatever you want. You know, your wish was their greatest desire, right?
I've got you. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then towards the end of the night, you know, I was in this line talking to all these people. Some of them were my old friends that I had in high school, you know, and I hadn't seen for years, and I was just kind of wondering what was going on, you know, and I was kind of like just an observer, you know, and not really had much control of what was going on, and everybody was just having this good old time, you know, and then we were taken to this room, and we were all these lazy boys with these headphones, you know, and we were just like listening to this music, kicking back. And I asked these people, what were we doing here for? And they said, this one guy said, you don't know what you're doing here for? And he goes, this is the government-sponsored suicide chamber.
So in other words, that was your last meal.
Yeah, you were encouraged. See, the world was so bleak because of everything that was going on, you know, all the famine and the plagues on the earth.
So in other words, they give you a great last meal, they put you in a lazy boy, they put some good stereo headphones on, and then
you get gassed and just go
and then you get gassed,
And well, this gas started to come out, right?
Yeah.
And I said, wait a minute, I don't want to be here, right? And and I went and knocked on the door, you know, before just as the gas started to come out.
Let me out! Let me out!
And the person opened up the door, right?
Oh, really?
And he let me out, and he goes, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here, right? And then he just let me out. I was like, he didn't make you stay there, right?
Well, see, that's the way it would not be in real life. The way it would be in real life is, let me out, let me out. Gas is coming, let me out, and slow fade to black. Because nobody would be let out. You've had your dinner. You've had your time on the lazy boy and the music. And now, it's good night. That's the way it'd be in real life. In dreams, you wake up. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hey, Art, how are you doing?
If you've been listening, why do you even ask? I've got a cold. I'm all congested. I've glued my lip together. My nose is glued. I've got glue on my hands. Otherwise, it's a great day, sir.
Well, I was just going to say, I missed you the last couple of days. I'm working nights, and
Because I've been sick.
Right. I knew that. As a matter of fact, on your chat lines, they're saying they thought you were dead.
I know.
Anyway,
I'm going to have some... Oh, I got to go try to find that press release. Somebody issued a press release saying I'm dead. Now, is that... Subject, Art Bell has passed away for immediate release. Pahrump, Nevada. Radio talk show host Arthur Bell, known to his fans as Art Bell, was pronounced dead at 5:30 a.m. Pacific Time on Thursday, February 20th, 1997. He was 51 years of age. At approximately 4:24 a.m. Pacific Time Thursday, February 20th, 1997, Art Bell suffered massive chest pain shortly after going off the air and was immediately taken to the Pahrump Medical Center at 1330 Highway 160, only 10 minutes from his home. The cause of death has tentatively been determined to be cardiac arrest, pending further investigation. Attending doctors worked on him for almost an hour before he was pronounced dead. He is survived by his widow Ramona and his teenage son, Arthur Bell Jr. Art Bell began his career in radio at age 11 using a ham radio setup and continued his interest in ham radio up until the end of his life. His interest in ham radio was spurred by his father, a World War II veteran. Art Bell's autobiography, The Art of Talk, gives a full detailing of his life in radio as well as his interest in the paranormal and the NASA space program. Art Bell hosted 2 shows, Coast to Coast broadcast live weeknights at 11 p.m. Pacific and 2 a.m. Eastern for 5 hours, and Dreamland broadcast live Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific or 10 Eastern for 3 hours. Coast to Coast and Dreamland programs were also available on C-band satellite, Satcom 1, Old F1, Transponder 5, 5.8 wideband audio. Both Dreamland and Coast to Coast were carried by stations all over the world. And that's it. Now, it's no wonder people thought I was dead. Doesn't that sound realistic to you, caller? You're back on the air.
Hi there.
Hi.
Boy, I never thought of the dead guy before.
Well,
I'm a paramedic by trade.
This is a big opportunity for you then. Do you have any questions?
Well, I was talking before the break there. I've been interested in this stuff ever since I was a kid. I grew up in southern Illinois, and you probably remember the stories of the Missouri Monster.
Oh, sure.
And that tied in with UFOs and their sightings. I remember, every day my mom and I would turn on the local radio station to hear what happened the night before, and dogs being carried off in the mouth of these monsters. And,
yep.
But anyway, I don't know how I was going to tie that in, other than I would just like to see some sort of resolution to all this now, and it sounds like it's not too far in the coming.
Well, I certainly agree with that. And I appreciate your call, sir. Thank you. First-time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art. This is Dave calling from the East Bay area in California.
Hi, Dave. You're going to have to speak up good and loud for us.
Okay, I'll try to do that. Hey, listen, I've got to tell you that your disclosure of gluing yourself over the radio has caused me some major grief here.
Why?
Well, I was in bed with the headsets on, listening to your program, and I started convulsing in laughter.
Oh, you thought it was funny?
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. So, maybe it's...
Well, maybe at a distance it's funny, but it wasn't so funny here.
I understand, but it was quite humorous to me.
Well...
And here I was chuckling in bed, and my wife wakes up. She thinks I'm having a coronary.
Huh.
Now, when she finds out I'm listening to your radio program, she smacks me. Now I'm injured.
Oh. Well, I hope she hit you hard. Where'd you get it?
Huh?
Where'd she smack you?
She smacked me on the face.
Good.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like you now.
Tell her thank you.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
In any case, a quick calculation. Our friend that called from Washington about the hole.
Oh, yeah.
It's over 15 miles deep.
You got it.
Can you believe that?
Well, I don't know if I can believe it or not. It's a very intriguing letter. There's no question about it.
Certainly is. I think it requires some further investigation.
I absolutely agree with you. Look, I'll tell you something. I've got the guy's phone number here.
No kidding.
Yep. So...
Yeah, well, that needs a call back for sure.
I agree with you.
Hey, listen, another thing here, too. I never really stopped to think that all these meteorites and asteroids and space junk and satellites that re-enter the atmosphere that spark up our sky.
Yeah.
I never stopped to think that these are alien space vehicles that we're shooting out of the sky with new high-tech weapons.
It's entirely possible, and as a matter of fact, that's what Dr. Greer said. Yeah, this is really an intriguing letter. I would like to talk to Mel. Mel, if you're out there. How about giving me a call, Mel? Huh? I don't think I want to call Mel at this time of the morning. But obviously I'll follow up on this. So, Mel, if you're out there, would you call me? Let me see. What line would be good for Mel to call in on? How about my first-time caller line? Would everybody else be willing to hold up and see if Mel can get through? Mel is the guy with the hole in the ground. This is a remarkable, remarkable story. Sounds possible. So, Mel, if you're out there, call me at the following number now. Area code 702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. Everybody else, hold off. I want to talk to Mel, the guy with the hole. And I think I'm going to reread that letter to you. It is absolutely remarkable. Mel only at that number. Casey's awake. I bet he is. Dear Art, I'm writing to you to see if I can get some help from you or your vast listening audience. I live in rural eastern Washington near the Manastash Ridge, wherever that is. M-A-N-A-S-T-A-S-H. Manastash Ridge. On our property, there is a hole. Like the previous owners and the owners before them, we've been throwing our trash in the hole. Apparently the hole has been there as long as anybody can remember. At first I thought it was an ancient well. Anyway, the hole is 9 feet, 9 inches in diameter. That's a pretty good sized hole. There is a stone retaining wall around it, and we put a steel door on top to keep anybody from falling into it. As I said earlier, people have been throwing their trash into the, in quotes, well for decades. Furniture, household trash, dead cows, building debris, you name it. The thing is that I noticed the hole never filled up. So I got curious, actually obsessed. I began trying to measure the depth of the hole. I emptied 3 fishing reels of about 1,500 yards of monofilament line trying to determine the depth. Soon I was buying fishing line in bulk. So far I have sunk about 80,000 feet of line into the hole without reaching bottom. My wife works at a local university with a geology department. We hope to get some professional scholarly help in determining the depth of the hole. As far as I can tell, there is nothing else particularly strange about the hole except for 2 other things. 1, dogs refuse to get within 100 feet of the hole. Birds will not sit on the retaining wall or metal door. Another very strange thing is there is no echo when you yell into the hole. Indeed, I've never heard anything hit bottom when tossed in. We once tossed an old refrigerator in and never heard it hit bottom. No crash, no splash, no crunch. I hope your listeners might be able to help with possible explanations. I'm wondering if this, based on my measurements so far, is the deepest hole on Earth. Thanks, Art Bell and listeners. Signed, Mel, and I won't give his last name. First-time caller line, you're on the air.
Art, I have to apologize.
Art, you're not Mel?
I am Mel.
You are Mel?
I put that thing on the news group Art Bell.
You did? All right, if you're really Mel, there's a way you can prove it.
How's that?
What are the last 2 numbers of the number you sent me?
I don't know.
Then you're lying.
I'm not Mel.
You're lying. Your pants are on fire.
I am.
Goodbye. See? You're not Mel. Didn't think I had a way to test you, did I? Twit, you're probably the kind of guy who wrote my death notice. Idiot. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
I can't believe I'm the first caller that talked about Dr. Greer.
You're not.
Well, that's true. But the thing that I can't understand is, according to his protocol, if 2 ambulances pull up at his emergency room bay at the same time, and in one was Mother Teresa, and she was in the advanced stages of pneumonia, and the other one was a child molester who had confessed his sins to a fellow inmate.
And a crack addict.
Right?
Let's add that. And a crack addict.
Make it as bad as you want, but he was stabbed.
Yeah.
They would treat him first. So, with all the stuff that he presented tonight, and
he laid out some pretty heavy stuff.
Well, yes, he did. And he's going after the heart of the beast.
Yep.
Then, what is their protocol? Why are they interested in us? Is it about the quickening? Is it about they want to save us? Is it about...
My guess is, yes, that it is related to what we're headed for if nothing changes. That's just my guess. This quickening business is real. It is, and finally, I have laid it down. Now, I'm going to say this again. I've written a book called The Quickening. Please do not call my publisher. You can't get it yet. So please don't call my publisher. They're being besieged up there right now. Just wait. I'll let you know when it's out. But I feel so strongly about this that this book just tore out of me. And it's going to be available soon. I will let you know. All right? I'll let you know. And it documents carefully what the quickening is. And so is it related to what's coming as a result of that? Yes, I believe probably so. I do believe that. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're obviously not Mel, are you?
No, I am not. I am Marilyn, and good evening, Art. I am calling you to let you know about Egyptian magic with these...
Well, listen, I appreciate the call, but you're going to have to call on another line. This is the Mel line. I want to talk to Mel, the guy with the hole in the ground. So call me on another line. This is the Mel line. The only Mel call, area code 702-727-1222. Until I say otherwise, it's the Mel line. It's the guy with the hole in the ground. That wasn't Mel either. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Yeah, Art.
Hello.
Hey, sorry about your glue incident.
Yeah, well.
Hey, this is Joe from Cle Elum.
Where?
Washington.
Cle Elum. Do you know where Manastash?
Yeah, it's pronounced Manastash.
Figures. Manastash,
it's about,
all right.
It's not too far, about 5 miles.
About 5 miles?
Yeah.
Oh, you're close to it then.
Yeah, well, I got a kind of a solution for this guy.
Have you ever heard rumors about this?
No, never.
All right.
But I got a solution, maybe, so he can get a better idea what's down there.
What?
Okay, you know, you can go to the hardware store and buy a hose reel that you wind up your garden hose on.
Sure.
Okay, that thing can hold a substantial amount of fishing line. So he wouldn't be stuck with using fishing reels or trying to reel this up. And I don't know how he's winding 80,000 feet of line in. But...
Well, do you realize, look, at 5,280 feet per mile...
Yeah, I was calculating that up going, that's like, what, 16 miles?
That's a lot of, that's a whole lot of miles of, yeah.
40,000, that'd be about 8 miles. That'd be like 16. Anyway, I got an idea.
Miles,
this guy could put some stronger line on it using this big hose reel, like a fishing reel, and rig like a downrigger, like a pole and an eye, you know. So you drop it over. Why don't you drop a video camera down there on the end of this line?
With a light. That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. 80,000 feet. We're talking journey to the center of the earth here, or if not to the center of the earth, then certainly pretty far down.
Well, you could get, quite a bit of line on
Now,
there.
he says this hole is, what, 9
foot, 9 inches.
That's big enough for a human being to be lowered.
Yeah, I just wondered. There's a lot of mines around here.
Oh, there are?
Yeah, a lot of old abandoned coal mines.
Yeah, but what miner would have No miner would go that deep.
No, but it might have been connected to an air shaft. A ventilation shaft.
Huh.
There's some substantial stuff here. We got some pretty substantial phenomena stuff here in the mountains.
All right, well, maybe we'll get here from Mel.
Yeah, we'll see if he's listening and see if he calls in.
All right, well...
What he says about that hose reel idea.
Yeah, you know, holding it open for any single person is turning out to be almost impossible. And I've got the number here so I can check it out. I mean, if you're a false Mel, don't call. Some people call just to say stupid things. During the news break here, I'll answer that Mel-only line. All right, I'm not going to do it on the air because people are calling that number now just to get on the air and hear the sound of their own voice saying something dumb. So I'm not going to continue to answer. I'll answer it during the news break. Okay? That's going to be a Mel-only line during the news break. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Good morning, Art.
Hello.
I guess you never do this, and you can't this morning give anybody any lip. This is Will, WTGY, Madison, Wisconsin.
I could mail you some lip.
I have a question recommendation for Dr. Greer.
What's
but
that?
First, please have a show on dirty, filthy airline filters.
I'm going to do it.
I've gotten sick a couple times.
I don't know about
it. I'll tell you it's bad.
It's not their filters, Will. It's their recirculating air.
No, you're talking.
All right. Anyway, what is the question?
Yep. My question to the good doctor is, should he not do what we in Save the Baltic and Minority Tribes movement did? Namely, should his people one day show up at a UNESCO, United Nations Education Science Committee meeting hearing in some country held on a related subject, and all of them just begin testifying, keeping statements short to the point?
No, what happens to people who do that, Mel, is they get booted out of hearing rooms. No. That isn't the way to do it, Mel. The way to do it is to get the people lined up who are going to testify, approach and get hearings on the subject. Not in effect crashing somebody else's hearing. That'll get you thrown out on your ear, and then you'll complain that you're being silenced, and you're not. You shouldn't have been crashing the other hearing in the first place. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing? Are you familiar with the overturning of Pyramid Lake, the annual turning of Pyramid Lake?
No.
Well, once a year the lake turns over, and the bottom comes to the top. And
how does that happen?
I'm not sure. Well, the bottom comes to the top. You can see it like annually, a couple weeks out of the year you can see this. And I'm from Reno myself, and I heard a story that someone drowned in Pyramid Lake, and they found their body in a sea in the Far East.
Well, you don't have to go that far away to get anomalies. There's a bunch of anomalies right there at Tahoe, you know.
Yeah, and I was wondering, there's a real distinct fish in pyramids called the kiwi fish.
Yeah.
And it's found in Pyramid Lake, and it's found in a couple lakes. I think one in Africa and one in the Far East. And I was wondering if it's related. They found a body that I guess he drowned in Pyramid Lake, and they found the subject in a lake on the other side of the world.
Well, again, you don't have to go very far to talk about anomalies. Do you know that there is a creature in Tahoe?
Yes, my uncle
lives in Tahoe. I mean, do you know about that?
I've heard about that. My uncle has a little Cessna, and he flew over Tahoe one night, him and my cousin.
Yeah.
And they saw something swimming in the water. Something big.
Well, there have been a lot of disappearances up in the Reno area, and I'll tell you where those people are. They're at the bottom of Tahoe. I have read that fax now twice on the air, and I've got a lot of follow-up faxes. Here's one entitled, Yet Another Mystery Hole in Eastern Washington. Art, you'll love this. It was sent to me a couple of days ago by email, and it's all about another one on the Indian Reservation in Colville, where there is another mystery hole. Anyway, we'll get to that. Now to Eastern Washington. I guess this is Eastern Washington. Mel, are you there?
Yes, I am.
First of all, Mel, thank you for answering. What are you doing up at this time of the morning?
Well, after I sent the fax, I'm living in town here now because we had a couple of our buildings out there cave in after the big snows that we had out here last month.
Oh, yes.
And so
thereby goes some of the construction debris into the hole. So.
All right. When did you discover this hole?
Well, the hole has always been there. We've been out there for a couple of years now, and you know, the hole has been there since we've been there. It's been there since the previous owner was there, and the previous owner there was quite elderly, and I'd say he was there for a good 30, 40 years before we moved in.
Wow.
And then...
and so there's been a thing of throwing stuff down this hole for a long time.
It's been going on, you know, for as long as the hole has been there, I assume.
When nobody knows that, I guess. All right, how do you pronounce the name of your town, Manastash?
Manastash.
Manastash,
right.
That's right. Thank you.
Actually, I'm in, right now I'm in a little town called Ellensburg.
Oh, I know Ellensburg. All right.
You must know about a rodeo here then.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, so, yeah, we've been there for several years, and, you know, we just take all, you know, we take all of our trash, rubbish, anything we have that we have to get rid of, we take it, throw it in the hole. Everyone's throwing their stuff in the hole. The people from around there throw all the stuff in the hole. I mean, it's just been going on for a long time. Well, you know, I got this thinking one day, how come this hole is not filling up? It must be an awfully deep hole.
That's a good thing to consider, sure, as you throw stuff in it for decades, literally.
And so, you know, I used to be a, well, I would say pretty close to a professional shark fisherman, so I had a couple of huge fishing reels, went out there and started letting the line down. I figure after one...
Did you weight the line?
Oh, yeah. There's, in fact, the original line is still down there. I've just been adding to the line and keeping track of how much line I have used. So I've not reeled it in.
How much weight is on it?
There's a 1 pound weight at the bottom of it.
1 pound weight, all right.
1 pound weight. It's a triangular 1 pound weight.
Okay.
And so that's at the bottom of it at first.
So in other words, it would go down kind of like a plumb bob.
Exactly, exactly. In fact, I have it rigged across the center of it there, and it goes, you know, goes straight down from the center there. And occasionally I try to move the line there, but when you're moving that much line, you really can't do a whole lot with it. But it seems to, you know, there seems to be, it's not resting against anything at this point here, and it continues to go down freely. And so when I was out there earlier, I let out a little bit more line. And
so you actually went out there tonight after I read this?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Well, you know, it's not too bad out here right now. It's only about 25 degrees, so it's not too cold.
Have you ever heard anything coming from any sounds or anything?
Well, you know, I mean, the normal thing to do is kind of like yell into it there, to, you know, to see an echo, and I've never heard an echo come out of that thing.
No echo.
At all. You know, that's one of the first things I noticed about it. As usual, I brought the dogs with me. They wouldn't go anywhere near the damn thing, and I went back to the Suburban and hung out over there, so it was kind of, you know, if I try to bring them there on a leash, they'll just dig their feet in. They do not want to go anywhere near the hole. And so that's, I don't know. It's just...
Well, you've got miles and miles of...
Yeah, I think... Well, I'm measuring it by feet. You know, I convert feet to yards, so I don't know how many miles that is. I assume it's a fair number of miles, though.
Well, 5,280 feet is a mile, so you really think you've got 80,000?
Yes, yeah, I get line in 5,000 yard spools, and so I've gone through that many.
Well, you have got a hole then that goes... Well, you know, you can't say to the center of the earth, but you've got a hole that goes miles and miles and miles into the earth. I would think a university would be out there, boom, just like that.
Well, my wife does work for the local university here, and, you know, we've been talking to them about it, and one of the things is they find it quite incredible that I've let that much line into the ground, but that's what I've been doing.
Have you ever thought of winding it all back up again?
Well, when I let out the first 1,500 yards of line, I reeled all of that back in.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know if I had hit water down there, because I thought that's a lot of feet.
You bet.
You know, that's 4,500 feet of line. Did I hit water? So I did. What I did is I sent down a roll of lifesavers.
Lifesavers?
Yeah, so when it hits the water, the lifesavers will dissolve.
That's true. Oh, I see. So very smart. So
yeah, it's an old shark fisherman's trick there. We used to send our bait out on a balloon attached to a roll of lifesavers, and the bait would go out into the ocean on the tide.
Yeah.
And then eventually the lifesavers would melt, and the bait would fall to the bottom. So, you couldn't cast a big old mackerel out there that far. So.
That's amazing. So, what do you got any guesses?
I don't. I have no idea. I thought it could have been a mine shaft, but the thing about it is the surface part of it's been very well cared for. I mean, someone built a very lovely wall around it. And
all right, tell me about the nature of the side of the walls. In other words, you must be able to look down far enough, at least to examine the side of the walls.
Sure. It's stone for about 15 feet down.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's soil, dirt, and then further down rock. So but I can only see to the extent of really powerful flashlight. I've brought halogen lights out there to try to get a better look down there, but the visibility really isn't there. You cannot see much after a while. But it's it's a retaining wall. I'd say it's about a 3.5 foot retaining wall, and it goes down about 15 feet, and then it's...
Well, I'll tell you this much. No matter how powerful a light, and I was even thinking about a laser, when you're talking about 80,000 feet, forget it.
Well, they should have some technology that can give me an idea of how deep this thing is. I mean, obviously, the old fishing line method is only going to go so far.
What we need here is a volunteer. Real, I'm serious. Somebody who would be willing to be lowered into this hole.
Well, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't even know if there's any air down that far. I mean,
I wouldn't know about that either.
Or what kind of pressures we're dealing with. These are things that are totally beyond my grasp in terms of knowledge about these things. But
do you own this property?
It's our property, yeah.
How long have you been working on this?
Well, we've been out there for a couple of years. I said about 4 years now, but. This project here with letting down the line, that's only been since last summer here, and it's just, I said, well, how come this thing isn't filling up?
Well, sure.
And I talked to the neighbors around there, which are, when you're out there in the country, your neighbors are pretty far away, but they all know the hole out there.
They all know about it, so it's
yeah, because they all bring their trash out there.
So the local legend of the hole.
Yeah, this could be an apocryphal story, but one guy claims that he threw his departed canine down into the hole.
Oh, really?
And he swears, well, the story is the guy that did it swears the dog actually came back to him. And he was
really?
He was a hunter. The story is that he was a hunter, and he was out there hunting, and he saw the same dog. He had the same collar. He had the same little, little metal thing on his collar there. And he said it was the same dog. And he says he knew he threw the dog into the hole. But that's not my dog. That's not my.
It's not your story, but it's a story of a resurrected dog.
Yeah. This is as you can well imagine, this is all Native American land around here. And so one of the lines of inquiries I'd like to make is is there anything about this hole in regards to the Native Americans? That's something I haven't really pursued right now. But
if you had a fatal disease, Mel, would you jump in the hole?
I would.
You would?
Just
based on the dog story?
It is in my will.
What?
Should I meet my demise,
that you would be thrown in the hole,
disposed of into the well.
I'm not sure the health department would allow that.
Well, one of the things that I thought about later on is, what if this is like contaminating our water, And, we've had, I'm sure you do this out there in Pahrump, too.
Well,
you have your water checked all the time.
Well, yeah, no personal offense to you, Mel, but if there was a possible contamination problem, I'm sure you're a clean guy.
Yeah.
But, as you deteriorated, you would possibly produce E. coli or something horrible in the local water supply?
Well, again, so far it hasn't.
If you were
I
resurrected.
mean, the water around that area is absolutely pure water. It is,
And so nothing thrown down, all the old junk and trash, and nothing has polluted the water.
No, I mean, I can't speak for everything that's been thrown down there, but none of that has been showing up in the water that people draw from their wells. I mean, the water's as clean as it's ever been out there. I think we get water that comes off the Cascades or something.
Yeah.
It's just really great. It's really wonderful water.
Mel, you wouldn't be pulling my leg.
No, I'm not. And I'm one of the reasons that I went out to the property tonight, other than it just, it's something that weighs heavily on my mind. I was afraid that after I sent the fax out, that there would be people around there, because it's...
Well, there may be, but we have not identified specifically where it is.
Well, there aren't, as far as I could tell, too many big holes like that around, and so at least the people in my neck of the woods are familiar with it, and I kind of almost expected to see a small party of people.
Well, there may be. Now, I mean, come daylight, there may be. But remember, folks, this is private property. This is Mel's home.
It is posted, too.
Oh, it is? All right. Well, there you are. So without knowing exactly where it is, I wouldn't look for that to occur, but there is going to be substantial curiosity about it now, Mel.
Well, I think I've, let you know as much as I know about it. I certainly want to find out more. I'm mostly curious. I was mostly curious about the depth of it. I mean, how deep is the deepest hole anyone has ever found?
Well, I've never heard of anything deeper than this.
I thought maybe this would be like Guinness World Book of Records type hole here. And as far as things I thought it would be like, could have been like an old mine.
Well, now here's a couple things to think about. I've heard as you go down into the earth, Mel, that it gets hotter.
Ooh.
Right? So you would think that your fishing line with a weight on it at some point would melt, or something, but there's still weight on it, huh?
Yeah. The line is not moving freely. I mean, it still falls under its own weight.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's let some of the audience ask you questions.
Okay, I think I can do that.
All right, because I just might be missing something. Now, west of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel, who's got the hole in Washington.
Hello.
Hello. Do you have any questions for Mel? Hello? Okay, well, I guess that guy gave up. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Hello. Oh, you got a guess now?
I did. Well, I mean, sort of.
Oh, well, I was calling about something else.
All right. Well, thank you. First time caller line. You're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Mel?
Yes, Mel.
Oh, Mel. I wanted to talk to Art. I'm on the wrong line.
Yeah, you are.
I'm sorry. That's the 222 line?
1222 is first time caller line.
That's what I thought I was calling.
Well, that's what you got. But we're talking with Mel right now. He's the guy with the hole in Eastern Washington.
Okay. I just have something for Art.
All right. Well, call me back when we're in the open lines. Wildcard line, you're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Hi, Art. This is Dave in Milwaukee.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, I was listening to this. Very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I just wanted to let you know, I looked up in the encyclopedia, and the Marianas Trench, which is the deepest hole we know about.
That's in the ocean, right?
Right. It's 36,000 feet deep.
So this is, certainly over double that already.
Right. And it also says, under mining, that with current technology, we can only go down about 1,600 feet.
Wow. That's great. That is great.
So you've got something here that already qualifies for Guinness.
That is wonderful. Oh, gosh, I like that. That's great. Did you said 1,600 feet?
That's what they said, yeah. 1,640 feet, it says, with current technology is about as deep.
All right. Thank you very much for that information. So already we now learn that you may have a Guinness qualifying hole there, no question about it.
Jeez.
But I want to know, inquiring minds want to know, I would think even if we just had somebody lowered past the 1,600-foot mark to see what's down there.
that would be cool, but it wouldn't be me.
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't go down in the hole.
At least not while you're still alive.
No, yeah, then I will, you know, but I mean, you know, for the time being, no.
I understand. All right, east of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel.
What if the road broke?
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Mel?
Yeah,
and I?
Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas, all right.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you would like somebody to be lowered down into the hole.
That's right.
I would be willing to do that.
See, there you go, sir, a volunteer.
We've got a volunteer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously under certain conditions.
Like what?
Just a cage, for one.
A cage?
Yeah, just in the event that there's some kind of weird subterranean thing eating all of this garbage down there. Obviously, I would want to be in some kind of a cage.
Well, what makes you think, though, that anything that could gobble up, say, a refrigerator...
wouldn't get the cage? Well, I would have, obviously, a very powerful light, and I'd be able to see it at some point before it's too late.
So we'd have radio contact with you, and we could hear you scream, at least.
Yeah.
Sounds too much
or
like
an
Jaws.
instant up button.
An up button?
An instant up button. On back up. You know, at like a high speed.
And you could take a camera with you.
Yeah.
With a light and show us everything as it.
Yeah. I've got a pretty adventurous nature to me anyway. So this plus I have a very appealing draw to the supernatural for some reason. Anyway, just naturally in my personality.
Well, nobody's saying there's anything supernatural about this, but...
Well, the dog story would indicate something supernatural.
Well, that's true.
Well, everyone's dogs are scared of the hole.
Yeah.
It's not just my dogs.
No, that's a very good point. In other words, other dogs won't go anywhere near the hole, huh?
Yeah, my dogs will follow me everywhere. I mean, you know, no matter where I go, they're, you know... Except to the well.
Uh-huh.
Now, you call
it... Is this possibly at a grid point on the planet?
I wouldn't know about grid points, other than I know they exist.
Do you know anything about the grid points?
I know, yes, thank you, sir, from Austin. I've heard about grid points, but I would have no way of knowing where they are and whether this is one of them. I wouldn't know. Now, this is just a hole. And he's right, there is something a little paranormal about it when you consider the dog story. I tell you. Well, here's somebody from Las Vegas, Mike, listening to Kicks, and to you suggest that we throw a cat down the hole. Listen to the cat scream as it goes down. It's a horrible idea. I don't know about people who do that, throw down a cat. Oh, man. And you hear the echoes sort of going down. I'm not for that at all. All right, Mel, here comes some more people. First-time caller line, you're on the air with Mel, with the hole.
Art, why don't you have somebody, I know you're connected with somebody that's got radar available. Radar would be the way to go to find out the depth.
Well, would radar go down a hole
absolutely
without hitting the sides?
You don't need a fancy radar to do it.
You mean like a... What about sonar? No, I guess
sonar you couldn't use because you don't have anything for the medium to go through, like underwater for sonar.
Yeah.
But radar would definitely work.
In other words...
I was just curious if you'd call a government agency to come out.
But wouldn't radar return a hit from the sides of the hole and bounce around down there?
No. Purely directional radar. What do you use when you're driving down the highway?
Well... You use radar, but
exactly.
That's out in the open. That's not in. I don't know enough about radar to know if that would work, but it's a good idea.
Well, I've used it for years, but
all right,
the way to try it.
All right, that's. I want. How about a cop's radar?
I'm not sure if they'll return an echo off of that. Possible.
All right. Well,
it would tell you how fast the hole was going, wouldn't it?
Yeah, tell you how fast. Cute Mel. Wild card line. You're on the air with Mel. Hello.
This is pretty funny. Good evening, Mel.
Hi.
My name's Barry. I'm just hop, skipping, and jumping away from you down here in Yakima.
All right.
And I'm awful surprised I haven't heard of this before now.
Well, now Mel hasn't made this public, as far as I know. Have you, Mel?
No, it's just on my land.
I see.
So
my neighbors know about it.
But I mean, wait. This is the first public announcement of the hole.
As far as I know, there's no newspaper accounts of it. You know, not in the Daily Record or in the
well, there will be now.
Herald.
There will be now.
Well, as usual, you've heard it here first, folks, on our bill. Before I get serious, I just wanted to kind of lighten things up here and ask if you'd considered making a contract with the refuse collection department from Yakima County. You could probably make a killing on that.
You know, I read an article in the paper how they wanted to close down our local dump out here, and I almost seriously suggested.
Listen, here's another possibility for you. Do you know that I live near an area where there's supposed to be a high-level nuclear dump? Now, if this is really, in effect, a bottomless pit,
whoa,
you may have something that the U.S. government wants.
So I could, like, rent this thing out.
You're damn right.
And move away as quick as possible.
Well, yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to mention here, we've got many mediums of technology, and the gentleman who suggested radar, I think, was onto something. You know, say for instance that Guinness came out and was gonna, they're pretty thorough with their investigation before they're gonna print you.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Anyways, maybe the way to go is to have someone lower in a sensors package, which is something that measures for noxious gases, temperature, and I'm sure they could focus a radar, probably pencil thin, and just hook it up to a endless supply of cable and lower it down. I think that'd be awful interesting.
Look, I'd be interested, even if we don't get a hold of the guy from Austin, to lower a camera and a light down.
You know, when I was out there this evening, it's kind of a sort of a full moon out there, and one of the things that occurred to me is maybe this has some sort of astronomical type thing.
What do you mean, Mel?
Well, it's like, how the various pyramids and things in Egypt, are supposed to be lined up on various star systems or whatever.
Well, was it a thing like where the moonlight was shining into the hole?
Well, no, but I just, happened to notice, the full moon, and all of a sudden it just sort of put two and two together there,
You've never felt drawn to the hole, personally, have you? I mean, in terms of,
you mean in terms of some sort of spiritual involvement, or
no suicide? No suicide.
I mean, I keep the lid on it there because it's an attractive nuisance. You don't want local kids there climbing on the wall and falling in.
There's actually no way of knowing whether people have gone in, because they'd be gone.
Not in my
down with the refrigerator.
Again, if I can find out something from the local Native Americans on, maybe with some sort of burial thing, or I mean.
And you can drop a big rock, and you can hear it going down, probably bouncing off the walls or something, but you never hear a splash.
You never hear a splash. I've even taken like old television tubes, the picture tubes, and.
You've dropped picture tubes down there?
Yeah, I've dropped, I hate to say this here, but I've dropped more than one of them down there, and I've never heard it implode or anything. Nothing.
EPA, you probably shouldn't say that on the air.
Well,
they'll come and get you for that. I mean, TV tubes.
Well, it is my...
It's your own property, I know, but these days, Mel, doesn't make any difference. I mean, tomorrow morning you're liable to wake up and there'll be tanks in Boutros Golly.
That's true.
All right, east of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel.
Hi, WKXY, Sarasota.
Sarasota, Florida,
Let me say, let's throw Mike from Las Vegas down the hole. 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 From Las Vegas down the hole.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, he's the cat. Okay. I do have a question for Mel. You're a fisherman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever felt a tug on the line? And if you did, what would you do?
I don't have a hook on it. There's just a large, there's a 1 pound weight.
Yeah, but she's saying if something obviously was pulling on that line.
What would I do?
Yeah.
What you do?
I'd run.
Yeah.
I'd seal that damn thing up, and I'd never get near it again.
Yeah, I'd put the lid down on it at that point there and say, that's it, the dump is closed.
And at any point, did you ever pull up the weight and look at it?
Yeah, I asked that too.
The first series of letting down line, I got about 4,500 feet down there. I had a roll of lifesavers down on the bottom to determine if there was any water down there. And of course, if there's water, the lifesavers would melt. I didn't do that. But since that time, I've let the line continuously go down. I've just spliced on to the end of the line and continued.
Yeah, just trying to find out where the bottom is.
Yeah, that was my main question. It's like, how deep is this thing? Where does it go? You know, well, it goes into the earth, but you know, how far does it go before it'll stop? You know.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I think that a light and a video camera, I mean, Mel, you could have a special as you got down past, what did they say was the deepest hole, 1,600 feet?
1,600 feet.
As you got down past 1,600 feet, you'd have a network special on your hands, Mel.
That would be good. I'm thinking about putting up a web page on it there if I can get one of those.
What's his name? Rivera would come.
and they'd lower him into the hole.
Only if we were all lucky. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Yeah, this is Terry from Bremerton.
Hello, Terry. Oh, you're up in Washington again, yeah.
You're right. Well, I was wondering about how much does 15 miles of fishing line weigh?
I have no idea. I'm just letting that sucker go down. I have not really.
What if you've already hit the bottom and you got a pound of fishing line on it?
That's right.
Letting it down.
Yeah, I should
hit the bottom.
I should weigh one of those spools because I'm getting them in 5,000 yard spools.
Yeah.
And so I should weigh a spool and sort of deduct the cost of the spool itself and see what that would add up to in terms of how much that weighs.
Wow.
So in other words, it could have hit bottom some time ago, and simply the pure weight of the line.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it is reached bottom there. There's no slack in the line.
But even so, well, there might not be with that much weight. But you know, even if that's true, caller, think about it. He's still got the deepest hole ever heard of in the world.
Yeah, he does. But the weight of the line would keep pulling the line down.
Yeah. But there would be so much line down there by then. But
what pound test line is it?
I'm using 20 pound. I couldn't
pounds.
afford to go much higher.
Do you think you have 20 pounds of line on it already?
Pardon me?
Do you think you have 20 pounds of line in the hole already?
I'm sure there's more line than that.
It will break by then.
You know, we're talking how many?
There must be a lot of tension.
I've got 20 spools of line.
A lot of tension on that.
Yeah.
20 spools of line on there.
Wow.
And it's still hanging on there. You know, I'm you know, that weight continues to go down. I don't know if there's a way of weighing that thing, you know, as it is.
Yeah, I was just interested in how much the line would weigh itself.
I could probably do that. You know, get one of those hanging scales.
Sure.
And spring operating stuff, and just sort of knot it off up there.
Yeah, why not? It's worth a try. And the other thing that's worth a try, I suppose, although you'd be cranking for a long time, would be to crank it back up again.
Well, no, I could just weigh like one spool of line and multiply it. I think I'm up to about like 18 spools of line right now. So, you know, it wouldn't be too hard to get a weight on it.
All right. You'll report back to us on that?
Yeah, I can. Sure, definitely.
All right.
Yes, definitely.
All right. First time caller line. You're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Yes.
Hi, where are you?
I'm Bellingham, Washington.
Yes. Oh, Washington again.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was wondering, what was the... Mel said that he had a triangular 1 pound weight on the end of the line.
You're right.
Yeah, I was wondering what elements was that weight, or is that weight composed of?
It's a standard lead fishing weight.
Mm-hmm. You know, you were talking earlier, Al was talking earlier about the heat when you get deep into.
Well, I was speculating. You know, I saw the movie with Pat Boone about the journey to the center of the earth. It was supposed to get hot when you go down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, what about the magnetism? You know, that's a factor. considered close.
The magnetism?
Yes.
You're off into a territory that I can't answer. Mel, you're gonna contact your wife works for a university,
yeah,
huh?
a local university.
Have they? I mean, did she tell them about this? And if so, what did they say?
Well, the people she talked to, because I nag her about it occasionally, say,
Sure.
they're telling her, you don't have a whole day that deep, you know.
So, in other words, they don't believe her?
No. What I'm trying to do is, kind of entice them out there and just bring something out there to measure how deep it is. That's
well, Mel, would you be willing to talk to, like, newspaper people or television people? They're crazy. They'd send someone down there.
Well, I know I'm talking to a lot of people on the phone right now and on the radio, but I am not sure if I'd want to have a TV crew and
So you're not sure you want that kind of publicity?
No, I'd be happy to, like I say, I could put together a website on it and keep people, informed about what's going on, because I'm sort of making this my.
People would accuse you of going to the well one time too many.
That's probably true.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mel. Hello.
Hello there. That is absolutely amazing. All right, this is Ken from Scottsdale.
Yes, sir.
And one thing I wanted to mention about that, when you mentioned about a car that had apparently fallen from the sky.
The Chevrolet, yeah.
Right. I recall reading about many, many incidents in England and throughout Europe of raining nuts of different kinds. I mean, Brazil nuts and hazelnuts.
Sometimes it rains nuts on my program. Listen, we're not talking about things falling from the sky right now. We're talking about a hole.
Right, I know. Well, it was open lines a minute ago. Now you switched it.
Well, I've switched it because I have Mel.
Oh, well, anyway, as far as the hole goes, isn't it possible there could be like an aquifer or something and there water or something?
Mel has not found any water at all. He lowered lifesavers in, and the lifesavers came back, and that was how far, Mel?
4,500 feet.
4,500 feet, and the lifesavers came back intact, right?
Oh, yeah, they were absolutely dry. They weren't dissolved. They were just perfect.
That's pretty definitive. First-time caller line, you're on the air with Mel. Hi.
Mel?
Hi.
Hi, this is Conrad in Grass Valley, and I've got some thoughts about this whole well problem.
Sure.
First of all, if he's putting line down the well...
Wait a minute, sir. We've got to stop this because people are going to call it a well. There has never been any water found in this hole.
Okay, a hole.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. If he started out with a 1-pound weight, and he starts adding fish line to it...
Right.
Then the amount of weight down the hole increases. All right, now, if he knows the weight of the line on a per-foot basis, as he puts more weight down the hole, if he could measure the total strain on the top of or load on the top of the line, he would know if any of that line was draped on anything. See, the thing is, once he gets a fair amount of line down there...
That's a good point.
The 1-pound weight on the end is insignificant. And he wouldn't even, it could be hung up on something or laying on the bottom or something, and he would never know it.
Yeah, but he put lifesavers down 4,500 feet. So even if what you're saying is true, this is still, by a long shot, the deepest hole ever.
Well, that assumes it's even that deep. The one thought that you had that I thought was very valid was the temperature as you go farther down into the ground.
Well, that's what I think that's right, isn't it?
Oh, yes, of course. By the time it's down 4,000 feet in the ground, where the temperature would probably be well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
If the 100, well, the monofilament and the lead would certainly survive 100 degrees just fine. You're probably right. That is interesting. Mel, I say that we got to put a person down there, a volunteer.
Not a cat.
No, not a cat. No cats. But a person, maybe like a media person, one of these anchors from maybe one of the Seattle Como stations or something. Lower them down.
Oh boy. Again, I'm intrigued. Again, I've been running line down there for quite a while, and I don't think I've hit bottom. The weight seems to be hanging plumb over there, and like I say, we've been throwing things down there for a long time, and you know, this hole has not filled up. I don't know. Maybe it's getting incinerated down there. I don't know.
All right, and you would swear on all that is sacred to you that what you have told us is the absolute, unadulterated truth.
That this is my hole, and this is the truth about it.
Truth.
That this is my hole, and this is the truth about it.
Truth.
That this is my hole, and this is the truth about it.
Truth.
That this is my hole, and this is the truth about it.
Truth.
That this is my hole, and this is the truth about it.
Truth.
That this is my hole, and this.
God, it's an amazing story, Mel. Who else besides your wife, the people you've tried to talk to at the university, and yourself? I guess your neighbors know about the hole?
Oh yeah, there's probably good. Oh well, you know, in terms, you know, not families, but individuals, probably a good 20 people that use the hole regularly.